How's it going, everybody? Back at the saw shop. 100-mile-an-hour wind out there. No, I'm exaggerating. Super windy. Spring's on its way, but it's cold out. Just hanging out in the saw shop. I don't even have a fire going today, friends. Now, I'm just thinking in my mind, I was looking at this 371. Remember this saw? We built this on the channel. I ported it. Did all kinds of work to it. But this saw's never really run very good. It ran good at the beginning, the first tank or two, and then it started to miss and pop and spark and just do all kinds of weird things. So I thought to myself, I kind of wonder what this top end looks like inside. So in today's video, I'm going to rip this top end off the saw that I built and have a look at it. Okay, here's the saw. I've tried about 15 different spark plugs in this thing. There's the plug that's on it. It's tan. Seems lean. Remember, this is that saw that I put a 371 top end on it. Just give me a second here. I'm going to undo the screws for the top cover. Okay, anyhow, I was saying I put a 372 big bore top end on it with a 272 piston. There's some machine work done to this saw. The saw ran okay, but it was never great. Now, I don't know. This saw, smiley face. I don't know. This saw came to me. A subscriber sent it, and it's a random saw that didn't run. He didn't know anything about it, but it was a 371. So what I'm going to do today is let's take this top end off and just have a peek at it. Now I have another top end that I've already ported for this saw, or a 372 that we can throw on here. I was doing testing, and then this was kind of going to be my test mule for me. I still want to get a really good 372 to bucking. I've never built them one, but I don't have a ton of 372 chassis experience. So my plan was to, just to experiment, and this was going to be my test mule. But the problem was, I'm just going to take the throttle cable off. My problem was that I had so many problems with this saw that I kind of quit. Not quit, but there's only so many hours in a week, friends, especially having a toddler, and being a parent is awesome. But it changes, well, at least for me, because if I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it all the way, whether it be saw porting, my career, being a parent. I'm going to do it all the way, and I want to be as good of a parent as I can. So there's only so many hours in a week now. Always was, but a lot of my time is spent being a parent now. So I definitely have less time to port saws, but it just is what it is, right? That's the world we live in. I guess I may have to pull this handle off. We'll see. We'll see if we can do this without pulling this off. Now, I'll show you guys once I take this apart. I pulled the muffler off today. I shot a pipe video, and I was comparing different pipes, and I was looking at Morgan's UFO. Thanks again for doing that for me, Morgan. Morgan built this Wild West garage. The man he's a good man. He's a good family man. And he's really good at metalwork. Really good. And I say that as a sheet metal worker. I've been a sheet metal worker my whole life. Different kind of sheet metal work, but he's a good fella, and he sent that to me, and I've run it. That pipe is the coolest pipe, I would say. Just the design of it. I mean, look at this, friends. This looks like something made in the 30s. Like Art Deco. Look at the quality. And it works. Seems to work fairly well. Anyways, so I was looking at that pipe and I pulled it off and I looked inside this top end and I didn't like what I saw, friends. I'm not going to lie. So I'm going to show you guys. Don't matter to me. You guys know. Oh, well, that sucks. Oh. Let's see if we can dump that off here. I still just port for fun. And I know that a lot of people port for money and, you know, it's their business. I just do this for fun. I don't know. I find when you make something about money, it just changes it. I'm going to take this off. Again, love my Huskies. They're so easy to work on. Take this off. Okay. Now again, friends, that's glued on, but it came off. Oh no, I used a gasket on this one. Interesting. Very interesting. I thought it was glued, but no, I used a gasket on this saw, so it broke. Looks good, no leaks. I'm looking for anything that I could find. And this isn't the spark plug I used. The spark plug looks a little lean to me. The saw has 5-6 tanks on it, maybe 10. I did run it a bit and it was good at the beginning. And then as I ran it more, you could feel it. It had some weird running tendencies. It would break up in the cod, and bottom end's full of oil. Looks clean. I don't see anything in there. Again, friends, this is just a test mule. It's my saw, and it is what it is. Remember how I always say about big, giant open intakes, friends? And what it does, how it's a big, giant open intake is not conducive to long piston life. Can you guys see that dark spot on the bottom of this piston? This piston's already starting to wear. It's got some slop to it. Some shim-sham in the flim-flam. Okay? And you can see there's some marks on it. Now, I fitted this piston to the bore. It's not loose, it's not tight. Just a normal fit. I'd have to check my book on exactly how tight it is. Now, I'm looking at the exhaust side. And again, a lot of these marks are from me fitting the piston. But again, I'm seeing wear on the bottom of the skirt. Kind of interesting. Everything else looks good. Nothing seized. My rod's still tight. Okay, everything looks good in here. Guys, remember, I did piston work to this saw. Okay, so nothing really to write home about there. Let's get the light on. I don't see any plating off. I don't see any chips. I'm just going to pause this, friends, here. I'm going to have a really good look at this with my reading glasses and see if I can see anything going on. Okay, well, since we're this far, I'm going to pull this piston right out. Honestly, friends, I don't see anything. There is one thing I see that maybe it's something, maybe it's nothing. I have to pull the piston out to have a look-see. Okay. Interesting. Okay, here's our piston. A few little marks on there. No, actually, it doesn't look that bad now that there is some wear starting right here. I kind of did that on purpose because I like you guys to see this stuff. Big intake, small skirt, short piston. This piston is top heavy, because notice the ring or the wrist pin is low, okay? So this thing's going to tend to want to do this. Well, it is doing that, and you can see the shiny part? Okay, so that's definitely a thing. Wrist pin bearing looks perfect, so it's not that. And I honestly, friends, when I looked through here, what I thought I saw was actually just oil. I'm going to clean up this piston real good so you guys can take a good look at it. Okay, here's the piston. It's got some small scuffs on it from bedding in. They'll do that sometimes when you're breaking them in. Okay, let's pull this off. Now, what I thought I saw was a score somewhere around here, but it was just oil. I wanted to have a look inside this thing anyways, just to see. Again, this piston is not loose. In fact, I may be inclined to take more material off this. And it passes the drop test. Okay, do that with your pistons. If it doesn't do that, make sure you probably got a tight spot or a burr. And again, highway piston and cylinder kits, they usually fit really nice. It's a highway top end, but this is a 272 piston, not meant to go in the cylinder. So I tend to, you know, really make sure they fit well. Okay, so it's not that. Again, friends, nothing to see here. So something interesting when you're widening your intake. And now looking, I didn't do much of anything to this intake because it was already wide enough. I got most, if not all, of my intake timing. This still has like 80 something degrees of intake timing. So the intake's open for quite a while. I just textured it, widened it some as it transitions to here. But all in all, I didn't do much of anything. Now, there's, just looking. Can you guys see right here? Yes, my screwdriver's dirty, but it don't matter. I wonder, now I'm looking at this, friends. Now, I widened this exhaust port some, okay? I kind of wonder if maybe I'm getting a little bit of blow by right here. There is overlap. What you see here is your skirt, okay? That's what's nice. You could see where the skirt is. At bottom dead center, my transfers are wide open like it was perfect. And I check all this stuff, okay? Notice that the part that isn't shined up is the part that the piston doesn't touch. At bottom dead center, the transfers are wide open. That's why I didn't raise them much at all, because with this setup, it fit perfectly. But I'm almost wondering if we ended up a little bit wide. Because again, friends, this exhaust port is offset slightly on these 372s. I don't know if you can see, but they are just a little bit. And I don't remember what I did. I don't even know if I opened up that side. I may have opened up this side. Because again, I built this saw a while ago. But I have a feeling that perhaps, see if I can eyeball it here. I have a feeling that maybe, just maybe, we're getting a little bit of blow by on there. Now, the question is, does that matter? I don't know. Because it doesn't matter on a single ring, you know, if you put one ring in a 2-ring piston, we've already established that when you do that, you get some blow-by. That's the only thing I can see on this saw. Now, I will say, friends, I built this just for a what if. The timing numbers were horrible. It's got a pretty high exhaust roof. That's why I only widened it some. I didn't raise it. Okay. If you guys go back, when I built this saw, the numbers were all over the place. I threw this combo together because I was curious to see how it runs. Well, this saw doesn't run very good. I'm not sure why, though. That's the thing. Is it this? So, I think what we're going to do coming up is, I'll just pause you guys. I have another cylinder right here. I have this cylinder. Okay. Now, this one's a little bit different. This one, I've done upper transfer work, lower transfer work. I've done the Drake intake, okay? I've squared off the intake some and put those little ears on it, okay? Transfers are pretty much the same. I'm 99% done this cylinder. This cylinder has a lower exhaust roof and, believe it or not, less intake timing, okay? So, but upper transfer work. So I think what I'm going to do, now I can't run with these numbers, I can't run this 272 piston in here. Okay, I'll have to run one of these right here. I'll have to run a 372 piston. Now, way heavier, 2 rings, but look at the difference in the skirt length. Okay, and that's where the intake timing comes from. Okay, it's quite a bit different. This is more of a balanced design, where this is more top heavy, but this is lighter, this is heavier. So, okay. Check it for fit. So, I think coming up, what we're going to do, I'm going to run this cylinder on this bottom end. And again, this is timed more like the 460 that we just built for Caleb. This is a lower exhaust roof, little bit shorter blowdown, but not much. All I did is change the roof angle, how they enter, and I opened them some. Okay, got the winged intake, Drake intake, Mickey Mouse, whatever you want to call it, and widened exhaust roof. Now, I haven't polished this yet or done much of anything to it, and it's just roughed in. Okay, my exhaust roof is a little flatter on this one than this one. Does any of that matter? Yes, it all matters. The shape of your ports does matter. Okay, so anyhow, friends, I don't see anything. I thought I saw something. And you know what, friends? Looking at this, I didn't do any work to this piston. I just threw it in. Interesting. I didn't even read my notes, friends. I was just like, you know, I got to get this 371 running. So, anyhow, I think maybe, I don't know. Again, I could throw this other top end on, it could run perfect, or it could not run. Okay, well, the more we know, the less we know. And, oh, I remember this. The flywheel's all dinged on this thing, too. That could be the other thing, friends. This thing could be popping and farting because there's something wrong with the flywheel. I don't know. It has a slight miss. It has a slight miss in the wood under load at high RPM. Only after it's warm, though. So, as far as I know, though, I've swapped the ignition system. I'm pretty sure I put a different coil on here, a different flywheel. Just tried to rule out all those things. I've swapped the spark plug, and this saw just doesn't run the best. It's not one that I would bring into the woods. Oh, okay. Well, there you go. There's one of my builds after 10 tanks, and I honestly don't see anything. And now that I'm looking, there is enough overlap on the piston, so I don't even think I was getting blow by out there. I'm thinking out loud. no harm, no foul to share my thoughts with you guys. This top end didn't fail. There's actually nothing wrong with it. It's almost completely broken in, but something's going on with this saw. And I don't know if it's the timing numbers or what's going on, but it's rare. It's rare that you could port a saw so badly that it runs poorly, but maybe that's the case here. My intake timing is quite long, in my opinion, and that might be enough that at high RPM, once this thing starts getting warm, it could be breaking up because I'm having a fueling issue. I don't know, friends. Anyhow, we'll continue to play with this, and once we figure it out, we'll either know more or we'll know less. Once in a while, friends, you get a saw that just doesn't run. That's just the way it happens. I've been on good streak lately, and then you get one that doesn't run. Well, this was the one. I did cut with it for 2 or 3 days. It was fine. And then suddenly, over time, it ran worse and worse and worse until it went back on the shelf. So that's the fun of this. If this was an easy game, everybody would do it. If it was easy, I'd be bored with it by now, and I'd be on to something else, fishing or who knows, right? So anyhow, friends, I see nothing wrong with it, but I had to have a look, and I don't see anything wrong with this. So we'll just continue on working on this thing. Honestly, I got about an hour's work left in this top end, a little bit of polishing to do. I want to get this piston a little bit lighter, and we'll put a single ring on it, and we can throw this piston into this cylinder and see how that runs. Completely different build. This will be torquier than this build. This is a really fast build, high RPM, not the torquiest build, where this will be more of a torque monster. So again, I did a bunch of machine work to this one, and everything is trued up and very nice. Anyhow, friends, thanks for watching. Take her easy. I'll see you guys in a couple days. Later.